Sanibona, ngaphambi singene kwivideo namuhla, ngithi angithathe lethuba ngibonge isupport nothando nesikhombise lona lingaphezulu kokucabanga kwethu. Siyacela niqhubeke nisupporte njalo ngokubuka amavideo ethu, ungakhohlwa ukukhomenta, ushare, ulike. Siyafisa ukuzwa umbono wakho. Sicela ke singene kwivideo namuhla. Ngifuna ukuhlanganisa into ezingahlangani, kodwa uma uqala lo nyaka kunalempilo elapha phakathi kweCongo neRwanda eDRC, Eastern DRC ngisho njalo. Lapho kuphuma khona ama-social eSouth Africa kuthiwa aphume on the peace mission, peacekeeping mission. Ngeshwa kwakhona ama-social ashonayo. Kwakhulunywa into eziningi ezehlukene njengalezi.
What exactly are our troops dying for in the DRC?
There are allegations that family members of President Ramaphosa have significant interests in mining in the Eastern DRC. Can this be confirmed? And how is this impacting government's decision to deploy troops to the DRC?
We are being made to believe that our soldiers are in the DRC for peacekeeping mission.
I think we should clear this. The SANDF or SADC mission to the Congo is not a peacekeeping mission. That is an intervention force which should have been prepared thoroughly.
I spoke with the President of South Africa, who sought me out to speak with me on this matter because of their involvement in Eastern Congo. And he's also there pretending to be playing a peacemaker role, and he has a force that has been fighting the M23. M23 are not Rwandans, please. These are Congolese.
Whether we call it peacekeeping or what, understand is peacekeeping. So I think people can call it the names they want, but
Lezi zwe zibangayo lapha eDRC zibanga ama-minerals. Zibanga lento eyiphuma phansi enhlabathini. Angazi ukuthi izona ziphi ngoba ihlukene nazo zinemkhakha. Kodwa kunama-minerals alapha phansi enhlabathini. Njengoba uzwa kukhulunywa le inkulumo ezehlukene kuthiwa istory esikhandiwe ukuze kuyovikelwa umnotho womndeni kaPresident uSiramaphosa kuthiwa i-peace mission kanti bayolekelela amasosha ukuze bavikele umnotho wabo. Njengoba umuzwa uPresident uPaul Kagame ethi nabase South Africa ba pretend engathi bazokwenza ipeace. Asho njalo uPaul Kagame ngesikhathi ebethula ubufakazi bakhe uLieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi kwi-commission kaMadlanga uveze udaba lwe-RBM okuyi-Richards Bay Minerals. Richards Bay Minerals. Ngaphambi kokuba ngikhuluma into eziningi ngiyafisa ukuthi ngikucaphunele yena uLieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi achaze. Emveni kokuchaza bese uzwa ukuthi lento engikhulume ngayo yase-DRC kungani ngiyifanisa nale eyenzeka kwi-RBM Richards Bay Minerals. Ngcono ngikucaphunele yena emveni kwalapho sobe sesiyaxoxa-ke. Cela uzwe la.
There is a company in KZN that is called Richards Bay Minerals. It's a big company that does sand mining. There were incidents that had happened in that facility, in that company, that led into murders of some of the executives. And when it happened, there was a meeting that took place, which I attended together with the Premier at the time. And the Minister of Minerals and Energy, Minister Gwede Matashe, was in attendance in that meeting. So he actually convened the meeting. He wanted to engage with the communities because quite a lot of mining companies that are situated in Richards Bay. So during the presentation and then meeting, it came out that there are cases from RPM that involve executives in RPM that has not been solved. And the business people were sharing their frustration to the minister about the lack of police efficiency in dealing with the investigations of those cases there. I then, because I was present as a provincial commissioner, I had to take responsibility for that. I didn't need to have the minister telling me that Jerome Mkhwanazi do something about this. I was present, and the minister is listening, and he took us with. The Premier is present. So I took it upon myself to make sure that I prioritize the investigation of these cases. I then went back to the office I deployed the team. This was 2021. I deployed the team to Richards Bay. And the team is made out of detectives and the tactical team that must protect the detectives, because the complaint was around the tenders, business forums and all those things that are happening in the area. So I had to put the detectives together and have this team that is going to protect these detectives. So I paid out of the budget that was not budgeted for. If you recall, Commissioner, we spoke about teams that we can deploy ourselves as provincial commissioners. So I took it from the operational budget of KZN without telling the national commissioner, so I sent a team there. I accommodated them in the area there at Richards Bay, so I had to pay subsistence allowances and everything else. Theirs was to investigate those dockets. We were about roughly 5 or so case dockets. They stayed in Richards Bay for the whole 12 months. In that period, they couldn't crack those cases. And they were only assigned for that. They could not get us results. So on quarterly basis, I'm getting reports. They are doing a lot of successes. There's a lot of arrests and cases going to court, convictions, but it's not about these, which their mission is. Go and deal with these dockets and finalize them. So they're not resolving any of those dockets. Although I must say, commissioners, that they did arrest one person who was linked with the mayor of the executive of RPM. They arrested the person, he was taken to court, and he applied for bail. The modus operandi, as we know, that when the criminal or hitman is involved, someone is going to pay the lawyers to defend, to make sure this person goes out on bail. Which I think is some of the weaknesses in our system, that we don't ask questions, that you are unemployed, but you are affording a very expensive senior counsel to represent you on a bail matter. We opposed bail, and that person was released. As soon as he left our facilities, they killed him. And he was a link to take us higher the rank as to who would have sent him. But they killed him. So that case almost did not go far. But majority of the cases that the team ended up achieving were cases of theft and the likes that were happening within RPM. So what will then happen is RPM, if there's a loss of something, that the theft of something, they go to a police station, they go with these detectives. When they arrive at the police station, open a case of theft, the detective will take this docket and investigate it and arrest, convict. Another theft comes in. So they end up having successes of RPM that's got nothing to do with what they are sent there for. So they became like a police unit for RPM. So as I was monitoring this, and I said to them, your mission was simple. Deal with a few cases, crack them, and then come back. But you are showing me successes of something that unrelated to what you were sent there for. So I cannot be spending money to have you there. Come back with those dockets. You will work from Durban. Durban and Richards Bay, it's an hour-and-a-half drive. So they could investigate while in Durban. So I brought them back. Little did I know, Commissioner, that this RPM has got contacts in a high level of our country, of our government. Because what followed after that was a call that I received from my boss, the National Commissioner, who said to me, but I hear that you had deployed people in Richards Bay and you withdrew them. I said, yes, I deployed them there for a mission. They didn't achieve the mission. A year later, I brought them back, and they are still carrying those investigations, but from my office. Then he said, no, I received a complaint from the presidency. You must send these people back there. So I said, okay, well, I don't mind to send them back, but you must give me the budget, because I don't have money to send people back there. Then he said, no, put up a plan. I'm going to finance it. Then they said, okay, that's fine. And I told my deputy to prepare a plan. Now my approach, commissioners, was that I'm no longer going to be sending people, these 5 members, to investigate the 5 cases from RPM. I'm now going to put a bigger team that is going to deploy in this area and service other business people as well as a community in that area. So I must have a bigger team because there's drugs in there, there's hijackings and many other crimes that are happening, and RPM is not the only one that is affected. So while I'm preparing that plan, which the National Commission confirmed that the CFO is going to make money available for that. While I'm preparing that plan, I then I received a phone call from a commander of the Special Task Force at the time, Brigadier Gaffley. I had said earlier I worked in the task force, so task force members and myself, we communicate. Most of them have got my numbers, so they call me anytime. Brigadier Gaffley calls me, and he is at RPM. And he says to me, General, I'm here deployed at RPM. So when I ask him, what do you mean you deployed at RPM? RPM as the company mine? And he said, yes. So I asked him, but who's there? He said, no, it's myself and the NIU. Task Force and NIU are the fighting squad of the police. They are not investigators. They are the ones that do the dirty work. If we have to arrest someone, if to penetrate houses, they do that. They don't go and present cases in court. It's not their job. But they found themselves deployed in RPM. And he says to me, General, I'm told that there were detectives that were deployed here that you withdrew. Can you have those detectives back here? So, because there must be investigation done, and I don't have anyone who does investigation. So I said to him, no, I think you need to come and see me. So he drove down to Durban. When he arrived in Durban, and I asked him, but who deployed today? He said, no, I was deployed by my component head, General Zulu, who was a major general. She deployed us to come and work here, and I asked, so where are you deployed to? The entire area or RPM only? He said, no, RPM strictly. Our instruction is that you go to RPM, you don't work anywhere else. I was upset, of course, because I had planned, according to National Commission, I'm going to deploy. So I phoned my boss, I said, you are telling me about the deployment RPM, at the same time you're telling someone else. What's going on? And he said, no, I think we need to engage with Jarmo Sigidi, who's a deputy national commissioner. And so I then decided to keep quiet. I released these detectives to Brigadier Gaffley. So he included them on his budget. They went back to RPM. So they sat there for that period.
And was this again to be RPM only, or was it now to be in accordance with your plan of servicing the entire area?
No, it was for RPM only. I can confirm that. So the members deployed there for, I think, almost a year. So RPM had the privilege of getting a SAPS deployment to service only them, which was funded at the national office. I'm sure the management of the police will come and explain as to what informed that and the cost that was spent on it, which was against my proposal. So they were there for RPM and nobody else but RPM.
You said this was a good few years back. Who was the national commissioner then?
The current national commissioner, Charles Masimula, was the boss. Commissioner, as I said, I had deployed in April 2021. They stay there for the whole financial year. A national commissioner gets appointed in 2022 as a national commissioner. When I'm getting this, when this deployment happens, he is now a national commissioner at the time. So this team had worked there. So they were, however, they were rotating in that place, but they were not talking to the district commissioner. They were not talking to me. So I had no clue what they were doing. The district commissioner had no clue what they were doing because we were divided into 11 districts. So I had someone who's managing the district.
Okufanele kungasilahlekeli ukuthi le commission iqokela ukuthi izobheka insolo ze political interference. Nansi enye into efuna siphinde sikhulume, i-political interference emsenzweni wamaphoyisa. Ngoba uma sekuthinta udaba le operation, umuntu okuyena ofuneka akhulume yibo General Mkhwanazi no National Commissioner. Kodwa uma sekuzoba khona abantu endaweni ephethwe uyu Mkhwanazi ne-district commissioner la demotion ephethwe yibo, kodwa kunabantu abasebenza kuleyo ndawo benza ama-operation kuleyo ndawo kodwa bangareporti kubo, kwenzeka izinto bengazi, kuyinkinga. And ngiyacabanga ukuthi fanele sizibuze ukuthi why i-RPM ba prioritize yona yodwa kodwa kube khona amanye ama-business. Why? Umbuzo funeka sizibuze wona. ukuthi why. Okokuqala nje angilona ijudge, kodwa uma lento iyiqiniso, i-political interference ibisikhona ukuthi kungadeploywa i-team ezosebenza lapha, isebenze KZN, kodwa ingareport kulabo abaphethe KZN, bahlale bona bengazi ngoba bedeploye politically. Sekuvela ikholi kwi-presidency complain ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani into eyithize, i-withdraw kanjani i-team lapha. Kanti obani aba responsible for i-operation? Yingakho ngithi leli phuzu kufanele singalikhohle ukuthi enye into ezobhekwa ile commission i-political interference ekusebenzeni kwamaphoyisa. Article yabhalwa ngoJuly 9, 2021 ithi RBM to reopen after Rio Tinto Stanshall holds crisis meeting with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Kungenzeka na ukuba upresident wethu ishareholder, kungenzeka na ukuthi ukhipha le team ingoba seyiyovikela ama minerals wakhe, kungenzeka na sefuna kukhiphe le team engeke ize report kulabo abaphethe ukuthi mangabe le team withdrawer i-call ivele kwi-presidency, kusasa uyaqala ukufakaza u-national commissioner. Njoba ngomsombuluko nje uyaqala ukufakaza u-national commissioner, kufanele ayiconfirm lento uthi iqiniso. Uma iyiqiniso asho ukuthi ubani avele lokhu president uthi ubani lo okuyena wafonela yena wakhuluma ngale team ukuthi i-team le ayisebenza, wayesekhipha NIU ukuthi ayiyosebenza lapha nalokho nama special task force ukuthi abayosebenza lapha ubani. Funa kuvela ukuthi ubani ngoba kusho ukuthi bese sekungene political interference ngoba ipresidency lela office kapresident ubani. Kungenzeka na ukuthi lento kwakukhulunywa ngayo ngoJanuary makufa amasosha iyafana nale ngoJanuary noFebruary ngisakhumbula kahle, iyefana nale ekukhulunywa ngayo manje. Kunendoda ethize okuvikela umnotho wayo, asazi. uDr Mbuyiseni Ndlozi uphawulile waphawula kanje,
which might mean President Cyril Ramaphosa has to also appear in this commission, was the point that Minister Mkhwanazi made in Parliament, that he had consulted President Ramaphosa with regards to his actions around the political killings unit in March this year, a time at which already he had written in January, giving an instruction for the disbandment of the political killings unit. Mkhwanazi offers the logic that, first of all, the doctrine that established the unit is wrong, that those are not political killings, they are mere criminal activities. This is important because if indeed President Ramaphosa agreed, as Mkhwanazi claims, then we are in a very, very good situation, or we are in that trick situation in which he must come and confirm on what basis, particularly taking into consideration that Mkhwanazi had never met the political task team since appointed as the minister to receive a report. On what basis to disband them? This is important. It means that entire parliamentary portfolio committee, which never asked these questions, must also come to this commission and account.
Qinisile uDr Mbuyiseni Ndlozi ufanele uPresident Ramaphosa ayovela eParliament ngoba ubaba uSenzo Mchunu uyasho ukuthi wam-inform uPresident, wamtshela futhi nge-political killing task team ngaphambi bathatha isinqumo. Uthatha isinqumo nje sokuyihlakaza i-political killing task team, usekhulumile noPresident. Funeka uPresident akonfirm ukuthi uyakwazi nalokho. Uma bavumelana ngelithini, yahlakazwa kanjani? Fanele manje kokhulunywa ngoba into ekuliwa nayo i-political interference kuma operations kwamaphoyisa. Le political interference le eyenzeka ngoba kusekune corruption eyenzekayo. Angithi besikhuluma ngeRBM manje ukuthi operation ise KZN, kodwa labantu aba report ugeneral wase KZN akazi nokuthi kwenzakalani, kodwa uphethe KZN. Ba reporter la ba deploye khona kuvela i-call from i-president. Angifuni le video ibe yinde, kodwa bengithi asiyixoxa lento, asiyixoxe nje ukuthi nakho kuvela ukukhuluma upresident wethu kuyamdonsa ne-office lakhe kuyalidonsa, ngoba manje sekufuneka kuvele okanye kufuneka ba-decide ukuthi ubani uzoba i-scapegoat. Kufuneka manje upresident ba-plan ukuthi ubani uzoba i-scapegoat uma bezovikela upresident. Ubani okuzothiwa cha ndoda thatha wena le nkinga sizobona simisa kanjani, ukuthi vuma wena ukuthi nguwe ukuze lento izodlula, ngoba uma kungase kuvele ukuthi upresident kuzoba ney'nkinga ey'ningi ngapheko kokwenza. Inkinga upresident wethu uvikelekile-ke, une-president protector, uvikelekile. Noma kungatholakala ini, hayi akana stress ngoba unane-president protector. Abantu abasenkingeni yithi thina njengomphakathi, asina public protector ezovikela thina njengabantu bomphakathi, abantu abavotayo. Ungcono upresident wethu unayo i-president protector. Mina nawe kasidibane kwivideo elandelayo, kodwa ngiyacela ukuze ukuphawula kwakho kulolu daba nje besikhuluma ngalo manje, lolo lithinta i-RBM. Ngilizole interesting kakhulu lolu daba ngoba vele into ephenywayo lapha i-political interference. Into nje ephenywayo i-political interference. Ngiyacela ukuze ukuphawula kwakho la ku comment section. Mina nawe bese sidibana kwivideo elandelayo. Ngiyabonga.